Maybe, maybe not. Just put on some new headphones. Can you hear me? Yes? No? Well, I'm going to assume you can because Slack is telling me that you can. Excuse me, Discord is telling me that you can. Welcome. We're going to get started in just a minute. I jumped in a little bit early to see everybody's shining, happy images, see which early birds have come to get the worm, so to speak. We got some really cool stuff to talk about today. Some cool, a little bit of some cool images to share. Some good news, just a general update too. Welcome everybody. Contact 92, welcome. S2 Anna S2, welcome. Seen some familiar faces showing up. Citizen X, nice to see you here again. Gala Girl, Crazy Town. Some of you guys have been on really late Texas time. I've been jumping on the last couple of nights. Got to share some information. Repeat some answers that we've given before that people like to hear. Let's see. Okay. Welcome, Michelle. Can you hear?
Hey, good morning.
Hey, there we go. There we go. It's a silent audience. Who here works at a job where a lot of it is doing, Google Meet or Zoom or something like that, right? One of the things that's weird is when I jump into a big Google meeting and there's a bunch of faces on the screen and nobody's talking, right? It's like, wow, come on. Imagine if you walked into a real life meeting at your job, a room full of 5 or 10 or 20 people, and it's pure silence, right? Yeah, there you go, Volcron. Yes, you work at that same job. Um, I've started actually queuing up. There's a thing you can do with Google Meet where you share a tab, and when you play in the tab, the music will come through. So I've started sharing YouTube videos. One of my favorites is the intro to, Welcome to the Jungle. It kind of gets everybody excited and keyed up. That's the life of an online teacher, Aku. Yes, yes, it is. All right. Hey, Mal, welcome to the stage.
Hey, sorry, I was trying to get in, but it doesn't show me the button all the time. Sometimes it lets me join the stage, and sometimes Farmer Michelle has to bring me on. Don't know why.
Yeah, that happened to me, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago. Welcome, everyone. Resource, I see you out there in the audience. If you're having trouble getting on the stage, maybe somebody can help jump you up to it. Rod Dash Riprock, welcome back.
I'm mobile today, so I'm showing that I have no engineering skills right now.
Okay. Dubstep Rod, welcome. Imp, nice to see you online again. Gala Girl, Dark Magic, yeah, a lot of good people here. It's me, Frank. Hello. Wait just a minute or so. Remember, invite all your friends, get them to show up. I know there's always one or two people who show up and say, wait, did the AMA already happen? Yes, and I especially appreciate the people that are, around the world. I hear it's, what time is it in Australia? Somebody was talking last night that they'll be trying to be online and from Australia. Yeah, 1:32 a.m. right now in Australia. I'm ACT. I guess if you're in Kingston, it's 2:30 a.m. Perth, 11:30 p.m. So big country there. So I don't know. Let's get about 100 people here. What do you think, Michelle? Shall we get started?
Yeah, let's jump right in.
Let's do it. Okay, so welcome everybody to our September 30th, 2022. Ask Me Anything for Townstar. For the people who are kind of new to this experience, back at the end of July, we committed to having a once a week AMA. Tell everybody what's going on with Townstar Live, Townstar Forever, answer as many questions as we can, with the goal that what we share, it's coming and it's real. I like to call that we're walking the talk. So to that end, some of our questions are, just to the point, like, hey, we'll be able to talk about that later. With the idea that if we're not don't have things locked down or fully planned out, we'll save it till we do. But on the flip side is you can then count on the stuff that we're showing and talking about now as 100% real. And so good morning, everybody, and welcome. How's everybody doing on the stage?
Woo. I'm
Oh, great.
It's so awkward when we can't even see each other. We're jumping on stage and trying to have some interaction. Let's see. We know Resource is mobile. Volcron, you're here. You've got some great stuff to share. Musashi, same thing. Of course, Mal's Leaks and our MC, Michelle. So, Michelle, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, so let's go over what happened this week in our Townstar Live game. This week there was not a competition. Everybody was prepping for party boxes. There's been a lot of leaks tossed around, so some people probably know a lot of what's changing. I'm sure Mel's going to tell us all at the end, and then I'll make a nice big announcement for everybody who's wondering what all the changes will be. We also had the UFO skin this week, which I've seen in action and is super awesome. Some really nice art, too. And that's really all I've got for the Townstar Live stuff for this week. I don't know if Resource has anything else she wants to say.
Not too much. We did have a pretty productive week with the team. Our new engineer is doing great. He's picking up the code base really quick, which turned out to be a great thing. Because one of our other engineers was out in that Category 5 hurricane that hit Florida, so he was without power for a couple of days. So we definitely needed the extra hands on deck for everything. But everything's going great, and we're set for a Monday release.
That's good. Last week we were talking about there's a little bit of extra challenges. So it sounded like things have kind of got, I don't want to say cleaned up, got better, even with the challenge of the hurricane. Is that right?
That is right. We had a couple of bugs that we're still kind of trying to iron out and get fixed to make sure that everything is going really well for the competition next week. And but yeah, everything is going really well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for checking in mobile wise. Michelle, what's next?
We can jump right to Townstar Forever updates. We have any Godot updates from Volcron?
Yeah, we sure do. Let's see. Well, we like to only talk about the things that are actually done, so I'm not going to touch on the stuff that's in code review, even though it looks really sweet. So I'll be sharing a video in a couple seconds or minutes here. This one will show the beauty pass we've done on the store UI, and if you look at it, you'll also see some of the finished products and buildings that are in the store as well. It's going to show subgrid placement for anybody who's not familiar with that. This will help you get a visual on what that means. And building status indicators, they're a little prettier now. When you rotate in 3D, you can see what it looks like when your building is full. And then I find this exciting part, the crafting and delivery systems. So you'll see the windmill doing its thing. So that's in the video. And then I guess other stuff we could talk about. Somebody was asking about keyboard controls. Yeah, that's definitely a priority. I'm much prefer keyboard to mouse. So we have WASD, plus minus, E to spawn the store, stuff like that. We're very keyboard driven. I think so that might also be in the vid actually. And
People are saying, "Where's the vid? Where's the video?"
where is the vid? Okay, I just want to make sure people were listening. I didn't know if I came to see this or not.
I try to check them.
There we go. Let's see. Let me paste it in. Second job.
He does smooth
Thank you.
jazz. This is Volcron, your midnight smooth jazz
So
mind
last
pilot.
last week, some people said that the video is small, and I think that I'm going to blame it on your browser. So download the video and watch it on your desktop if you can. You'll probably see the full resolution there. And this time I add. Oh, that's good to hear, Peanut. I added some of the Townstar music. Probably next week I might include a video that has like 300 loggers, so you can hear the absurdity of all that activity going on. I don't know. It's kind of funny. But that's some of the testing that we do as well is, what does this look and sound like when you have these giant towns with all this activity? And that's really fun as well. So other than that, I think it would mostly be tech stuff I'm not sure people are too interested in. Let's see.
Wait a second. We got a question there. Rostic,
yes.
Right? How do you put a wheat plantage in the middle of two squares?
Exactly.
How is that possible?
How is that possible? Yeah, so this is what we're calling the subgrid placement. So it doesn't have to be aligned like a chessboard anymore. Yes, they did. They noticed. So that's, of course, there's still tuning, and we're still open to ideas from game design on exactly what resolution we might want to go with that. But what you see here is that every building is a 2x2, and the grid itself supports stuff going. Yeah, Willow Martin. I don't want to assume about what you might mean around half plot items, but let's say decorations, maybe.
What decorations? Yes. I think you kind of get the clue there. And I'm gonna share a little bit of another image. We've already shared this before about we call it subgrid placement, but basically it's the feature that supports better just creating your town the way you want to create it. Creates the option for space for decorations, makes everybody get off of that kind of very grid cookie cutter town kind of feel to it. So yes. So and if you guys, what do you guys think about that video? Can you see anything interesting in it? How does the roads react to this? Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Dubs, who put that? How does walking up? Somebody put it out. Oh, that was Rusticip. Yeah, we'll still figure that out. I mean, we could try to join them, or if you want to have roads that are offset, you can have them offset. Notes. And what do you guys think about the video before we move on to new stuff? Any comments? Is it a good video? Should we keep doing it? I think it's really cool. I'm really excited every time Volcron sends me a video.
Yeah, what I do for these vids, for anybody listening, curious how they get made, I just sync to the latest dev branch and pull it, and then I run it. And then I'm recording videos of what's actually running in the code base. So this isn't any weird editor version or side, executable or anything. This is actually the game I'm recording. So it's everything you see is real.
I love that. That's one of the things we talk about: continuous integration, continuous deployment. It's something that Volcron and team have done a great job at. Anybody who wants to see inside the company, wants to see the current status, you just go to URL and you can see what's happening. And that makes it much easier for live development and live support later. Any other notes, Volcron? What's the URL? Rustic, we're going to share that with you. Even if we did, you couldn't get into it because you need a VPN. But nice try. Volcron, any others?
Probably just touch on the stuff that maybe I could. No, I'll wait till next week once it's in and I have vids of it.
Okay. Way to go, Tom. Nice self-control. Great. Michelle, what's next?
I think we're gonna jump into Q&A next.
Let's do it. We had some interesting questions this week.
All right, so the first question that I have from our forum is, you don't do roadmaps, planning, etc., but at the same time, it's really demotivating if you don't know whether people are talking about weeks, months, or years. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. I see that that's not really a question, but
No, it's a statement. It's
yeah.
a judgment. Here, I'll just jump in and take that one. Yeah, we don't do roadmaps. We don't ship planning, and part of that is just my decision to keep our do it and talk about it loop very, very tight. But now, at the same point, you don't have to be pessimistic. You can listen to us every single week. You can see the videos of the work that we're doing. Hopefully, over time, you can actually develop that trust that is like, wow, they're walking the talk. And you can also, once we do, when we are able to share stuff, and we do have plans locked down, well, we certainly do share them. Just right now, we're moving very, very quickly. It's only been 2 months since we first announced Townstar Forever, and you can see by that video all the work that the team has done in that very short period of time. So I'll leave that at that. What's next, Michelle?
When will the tokenomics/white paper be released?
Normally I'd answer this, but I'm going to give this to Musashi this week. Share some thoughts, Musashi.
Hey guys. Yeah, sure. So that's in legal review right now. We don't have a time frame yet on when we'll get through that or the changes we may need to make. Just like everything else, we'll share when we have definitive info, but we have worked really hard on the tokenomics.
Cool. What's next, Michelle?
Where are we here? Yeah. Will there be a release plan for the major phases of Townstar?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. I'm not sure I'll jump on this. I'm not sure what you mean by phases. And when you say Townstar, are you talking about Townstar Forever or Townstar Live? We talk every week on what we do for Townstar Live. And with Townstar Forever, when we have a release date and other dates, publicly committable dates that we're sure of, we'll share those. But from now and then even after that, you just can trust us to share the updates like we're currently doing each week. And so, yeah, as soon as we have stuff that's solid, we'll tell you. I mean, we are, as you heard Volcron talking a little bit earlier. There's this urge for us to quick leak stuff because so much exciting stuff's happening behind the scenes. But I think it's better if what we tell you, you guys can count on as real. I see some questions in there, about Jury launching and Townstar. Will it be supported? I think Jury's going to launch before Townstar does. I believe if things work out and they hang on to their plan, Jury's supposed to come out, I believe, somewhere at the end of October, early November. And we have some other titles launching on that as well. But we will be starting to integrate with Jury the next couple of weeks, I think. So. Any other questions that you guys see in the community? Oh, I know, right? I know. I'm excited because and I shared it. Let me just quick sidebar here. I jumped in the talk Discord 2 nights ago, I think it was, and we're talking about what happens with NFTs. So with Townstar Forever, all of your current Ethereum NFTs, Townstar NFTs, we call them Townstar Live NFTs, will work seamlessly in Townstar Forever. But we'll have the option to migrate those same NFTs into Townstar Forever. And that allows us, when we convert it into, Jerry-based NFTs, it allows us to upgrade them, allows us to add some extra functionality. And actually, we have the choice then to turn them into real NFTs as opposed to FTs, fungible tokens. So some pretty cool stuff there. And that's another exciting thing. Like I said, there's so many exciting things coming. We just can't wait to get them put into place so that we can talk about them. Will and Martin, will there be a back and forth from Jiri to ETH? Our Jiri devs have mentioned that and talked about it. I don't know what their timeline is to go back to Ethereum, bridge back. We'll just follow on with how that system works. What's next, Michelle?
Next question I have here is, what is the incentive to spend town or gems in the forever mode, since there seems to be no time pressure as a player?
Musashi, you want to jump on that?
Yeah, sure. So that's a great question. So you already know we'll have competition mode. That's obviously going to drive some spend. But for forever mode, we are trying to incentivize other types of players who are not necessarily that competitive. So they'll go for things like like land expansions, progression, self-expression, and decorations, or just pure enjoyment, right? So we're trying to tap into many other types of players that may want some of those things.
Well, yeah, I think when I look at this, it's like, what is the incentive for anybody to spend money in a game? Whether it's in this case town currency or our new hard currency that we're that everybody's familiar with in other free to play games. Right?
Yeah, I've got to mention something there from my previous experiences.
Yeah.
So I used to work at DC game, and sometimes people just wanted the cool characters they love, even though it wouldn't help them in the competition. So there's other types of players who want different things. We're trying to cater to as many as we can. We'll keep a great game design.
And I think it's cool too, because in this case, when it's an NFT, you buy, you own it, as opposed to other games where you buy and it's kind of like you get to play with it in the context of your game, but it's kind of held captive, if you will, by that application. So that's one of the key reasons I'm just in the whole blockchain gaming space. It's just that aspect of ownership, which I love. I love a lot. What's next, Michelle?
The next question I have here is, will there be an in-game chat feature?
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about social features in general just for a second, right? One of the things that everybody thinks about right away is I'd like to chat with my friends. And as an experienced game maker, I know that always comes up, and I've had it in a lot of other games before. But I also know, different from the past, now there are so many options for you to chat with your friends, right? Hey, whatever, WhatsApp, Discord, just SMS, even old-fashioned, texting, right? So when I think about it as a game maker, I think what is the priorities of what we want to do first? Well, connecting with your friends inside the game, visiting their cities, trading and swapping goods, those kind of things are really important. So would I prioritize chat above all those? Actually, no. Chat's important, don't get me wrong, but it's already so many other solutions on that. And so if I had like one dev to spend on, a feature, it was like, hey, dev, we have this, we need this feature done. Would I pick chat first? No. I'd pick saying, hey, allow you to have a friends list, allow you to gift things to your friends, right? Those kind of things. So, but eventually chat may come online. We'll see. Maybe as a community, we'll all go look and say, we're good. We'll use Discord, right? But I do know that we want to prioritize our work and the time that we have on getting those real social features in there. What I call real, just like I mentioned, visiting your friend's town, trading, those kind of things. What's next, Michelle?
The next question I have, which I didn't quite understand because I don't know the game cricket very well. It says, will Townstar ever become more like football, fast to play, and less like cricket, multi-day events and very long playtimes?
I don't know cricket either very well, even though I worked in India for a while and went to a couple of games. There was a double century game, if you guys know what that means. But maybe a Musashi. Why don't you jump on this one too?
Yeah, sure. I'm a little bit familiar with cricket for the same reason, working in India. It's an interesting sport. I'd say that's an interesting question. One of the great things about Forever is that the new engine, new code, new options for competitions. But we want to have the all competitions, of course, but we want to expand them heavily. So, for example, in past projects, I have created event types aimed at hours, days, and some even full months, right? Many running in parallel. So what we're trying to do now is creating the systems and putting the systems in place to be able to experiment with events and objectives and check with you guys later on to see what you like, what you don't like, and try to surprise you every so often with a new event type.
Yeah, I was just so thanks for taking that one. I'm curious on the free when starter what that grenade GIF is. Like you're throwing a grenade at us. Is that the cricket question? Was a grenade? Doug Sunny, you wrote up a little bit earlier about in-game chat reminds me of leaving messages for people on their season farms. Yeah, that one's another good good social kind of feature too. Just I'm a real big fan of having a real good feeling that your friends are there playing with you, right? I think playing with friends can often take an okay game and make it a lot more fun. Michelle, what do we got next?
Let's see here. The next question I have is, will the persistent town mode be more goal-oriented? The daily challenges now take very little effort.
Take little effort. Wow. I guess the daily challenges, right? I was thinking like, wait, Mal needs to up the challenge. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's a good question. So when we think about Town Forever in the persistent mode, I like it's a simulation, right? I like people being able to play the simulation. I call it toys in your sandbox. So build your town and just do what you want to do, right? Then on top of that, some people call them quests, some people call them storylines, people call them daily to-do lists, whatever you want to do. We'll have those things, And then, like we mentioned before, achievement and mastery. And so, yeah, there'll be something to do every day. But I think as a game maker, the balance is between me prescribing you a to-do list and you also having the chance to just do what you want. I'm a big fan of making games where you can do what you want and have fun doing that. I come from the aspect of toys in a sandbox, right? We give you a bunch of toys. The game board is a sandbox, and we give you a bunch of cool toys, and have fun with them. Make stuff that nobody expects to see. Combine things different ways, new ways. Anybody who used to play Farmville, or even if you go to look now, you can see some of the crazy things that people did with hay bales in terms of creating really like a picture of a Mona Lisa. Right? It's pretty crazy. So hopefully that answers your question. Goal-oriented, exploration-oriented, just, have fun. So it feels like we should move on to the next question, Michelle.
Yeah, the next question is the last question that I have here, and it is, will there be competitions with no NFTs allowed in the new Town Star? Is the idea of having different levels or tiers being discussed?
Musashi, why don't you take us away? Take it away, man.
Yeah, definitely being discussed. I've worked before with and without tiers or leagues, like having them or having them different pros and cons. So yeah, definitely looking at that, and definitely looking at to have free players participate in events as much as possible, because that's what the question was to. Right? We have different like levels of players being able to play and participate.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. There's some. So as we kind of look at Town Star Forever, we've kind of talked about this before. The new code base, the new server architecture, the new engine, a much larger team even, it's going to allow us to do all kinds of cool things. And one of those things is expand the types of competitions that we have. We also have, what I call classic competition mode, which you guys all know is Town Star Live. But then having, competitions where no NFTs allowed, or, just everybody starts a set. It's kind of like, if you guys ever played in like, the tournaments like Magic's Gathering or something, and you just get the deck and you've got to play that, right? That kind of thing. So keeping the playing field level, so that it's just another type of competition. So I'm really looking forward to all those kind of cool ways of doing things. And we have some even more ideas that we'll talk about them when they get real as well. So that's you said. I heard you say that's the last question, Michelle. Should we look
Yeah,
at
that was the last one
chat?
I had.
Is there anything in chat you're seeing we should answer?
People are asking about competitions now. Someone asked if competitions are going to stop when Geary arrives, which is obviously not true since we were just talking about competitions.
Yeah. I know. That's actually where questions like, why would they stop? Why would we stop doing that?
We want more, right? We want more types of competition.
Yeah. Good. Yes, there you go. You answered that right in there. Mad Max says he was very afraid about that. Will there be weekly competitions, Imp? That's definitely possible. I think I'm going to leave it up to the competition masters, Mal and Michelle, to help guide us on what to do. Now that we can do all types of competitions, what should we do? Right? It's not whether we're doing it. It's like, what type should we do? And again, same refrain. When we have that nailed down, we'll strive for certain. What other questions do people have in there? Will Vox have functionality? We're just going to go back to that same answer I talked about with all NFTs. Is we'll look at each one of them one by one and check on how they affect the ecosystem, the new economy, how they affected the health of the game in the past, how we want to make sure we integrate them well into the future. And once we have that nailed down, we'll tell you. Let's see. Any other big notes, or should we move forward? Do we have Atomic here with us today? Atomic, if you're in the audience, raise your hand.
I definitely don't see her on the stage.
Okay, so maybe we'll save a social update for later if Atomics becomes available. But take us to the next step, Michelle. What's next?
I think we're moving on to leaks.
Leaks. Awesome.
Is it that time? So
go for it, Mal. Go for it.
If we're at the time of the leaks, then I guess. So let me just make sure I've got my thing there. Very good. So, I was actually doing some reminiscing this week. Just how it used to be, the metas, compared with doing Party Box now. For those who haven't heard yet. It's gift parcel, food parcel in a wooden box. It sounds crazy, I know. But it's actually been really fun. Like people are getting like 4, 5, 6 an hour on their test builds. It just blows me mind to see the level of skill people are at now. The strategy level is just improving so much. Everyone's got these great layout portfolios, as I call them now. Everyone just got to build for this, got to build for that. But there was once upon a time where it wasn't always like this. And I'm sure Farmer Michelle probably remembers, and some other people, that metas and the competition, from the rush to all the different things. It was so different back in the day. And it's just funny and to see how the players' mentality has changed in terms of how complicated they can go, how quickly they can rush, how well they rush, the layouts they use. I've spent a long time watching them evolve, especially doing the metas. So I just want to tell everyone that it is really amazing to see how well people are doing and how far people have come along. I know some of your names for a long time. I see some of you, oh, you can't do that. And then the next week they're like, oh, they had an amazing build and they're so happy. Cake used to be a dirty word. Blue steel, these were the big scary things. And now they're just minor parts of some crafts, so it shows the evolution that people have made in terms of how skilled they've come along. We've made some changes, of course, on the way to make that a bit more fun, but I still think people should be very proud because people do some crazy builds now, so it's great to see. Anyway, on that note, we've definitely got the meta changes coming on next week. I'm just going to say, rather than try and say Monday, I'm hoping Monday. But we're going to bring it in. We're going to be decreasing the gift parcels points anyway. I'm sure that was expected. And it's sell cash. Still have fairly high points and a very nice sell cash. The party box, though, that'll be a 1.25 million points per box. So you will be able to sell 1 an hour if necessary. Looking at the chat, people are doing really well. So I'm sure it won't be a problem. It'll be 2 million cash a box. That's 2 million cash a box. You won't have any issues of cash on this meta, as it's not a cash problem meta. So don't forget the eggs are still going to be buffed for your cash. Now, the baguettes, they definitely needed a tweak, and the food parcel meta was a good way to see what kind of tweaks a baguette really needed. Baguettes had never really been a thing to make until recently, so now we know. So we're going to remove 1 dough from the baguette craft. This is a meta change, by the way. We're going to remove 1 dough and 1 butter from baguettes. But what will be a core change is the fact that we're going to remove the wood out and add flour onto the baguettes. So for the baguettes in this method, it'll be 1 dough, 1 butter, 1 flour. The core change might turn it to 2 flour, but for now it's going to be 1 flour. The wooden box timer, I know this one's been an anticipated one. It's 120 seconds. I have leaked this one. So it's gone to 2 minutes now instead of 25 seconds. People wanted it even slower than that. But you're going to have to balance that one. Going to need to keep some balance in there. 2 more interesting changes, though, and I'll explain this one, is the carbonate vines and the cacao. I always say it terribly wrong. Cacao. Basically, there's no wood on those now. Why? Loggers and their logic are a little bit funky. If you've got, a couple of sawmills, a whole bunch of animals and windmills, trying to get wood in storage can be a nightmare. I have an idea how to fix that by having it just so the loggers will take wood to crops that need wood, because we're going to bring, obviously, once these bigger metas are over, some of those wood to grow will come back. But to try and make it less of an issue, I'm going to try and set it so the loggers will also take wood to the crops. But we're not doing that for this meta, so we're just going to try and remove some conga lines if possible on that sort of thing, trying to, get them to put wood in the storage. It's a bit of a pain. So let me read the chat. So I drop wood from vines as well. That's what the vines are on. The vines have lost their wood. Yes, star, no wood there. Yeah, so that's to just try and help with that. Grumpy, that's what the vines are. It's the last 2 things that you'll need in this meta that have wood to grow I've removed. Not sure if that's making it clear. But it's basically just to solve that bit, because it is a real pain at the moment. Once you've got a certain amount of things, you can really see it. And this meta, you just don't need that kind of behavior going on. But I am looking at that. It's a ghost card. I'm sure everyone knows that. And it's going to be for the fabric plant. And the fabric plant helps, as we know. You've got like fabric boxes, cotton yarn, wool yarn, uniforms. It's a nice ghost card, I think, especially if you want to try and lose a few fabric plants maybe. But wouldn't it be kind of interesting if you were trying to cram fabric plants in with a whole bunch of stuff as well? So the ghost cards for the fabric plants. I don't have the fancy name yet. Todd is waiting for it, but you know how it is sometimes. But I'll have Michelle post those probably Sunday-ish when we've got them. Yes, that's correct. Willow ghost card equals for the fabric plant. Have I got any more leaks that I forgot about? Do you want to take the other one, Mama Michelle?
Yeah, I can do that. Definitely. Let me find my Slack. Now I'm lost in Windows.
You want me to just share that out there for you?
I got it. Don't worry.
Okay.
I know everybody's been asking for this for a very long time. And I'm very excited to show our work in progress that we've got so far. Everybody ready?
What is it? Yes, what is it? Suspense.
So So it's uploading now. It's just a work in progress. It's our basic prototype of what we've got going. I'm sure it will change a little bit as we make sure it gets coded properly and all of that. But that is the base design.
What is that? Does anybody know? I mean, you guys know what that means? Some people do. Dubstep, Willow. You got it, Justice Row. Now you did have a couple of caveats there, Michelle. Want to reiterate those just so that everybody is clear?
Yeah, so that everybody is clear. This is just a basic prototype so far. It's just really just the artwork done. We still got to get it coded in. It definitely won't be anytime in the next few weeks. It is on the plan for later, towards the middle end of October, maybe, if we can make sure it fits in our timeline well. And as it progresses and we get it more fine-tuned, I'm sure there'll be more nice image leaks.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in there. So, like you guys know, we share when stuff is real. This is real. It's just we're sharing this one a little bit further out, and showing a little bit. You'll get to watch if you come back next week at another update. Kind of watch as we take this feature through development. And I don't know, maybe guys, we can get the developer, the actual dev, on next week's call to talk about it, or maybe the week after. That might be pretty fun. But do you guys, what do you guys all think about this? Is it cool? Are you excited? I think so. I saw a lot of nice pictures uploaded there. It is necessary. Christmas came early. Yeah, good. Hopefully, this is just another example of the team really listening. Your guys' opinions matter. This community is important to us, and we're trying to do what we can in the midst of all the other development work. Listen and integrate features that we talked about. You saw us talking before about Jimmy and UFOs, and then a couple weeks later we have those in the game. Now we heard a lot of talk about production monitors. Those are coming. So cool. What do we have? Anything else? Are we at the end of our agenda, or is there anything left, Michelle?
That's all I've got on my list.
Hey, Michelle, I got something to say.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Top boy.
Jumping
at the last minute. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about sales. Everyone knew they're coming. So next week we got the legendary oak tree and the tree farm. Both of these, we know our items you're probably going to want more than one of. So we actually decided to do a bundle sale. Put 2 legendary tree farms, 2 oak trees in a pack of 4. Mal's going to talk about what makes them legendary and talk about the utility a little bit. But in terms of pricing and quantity, there's going to be 300 bundles in store, which means 900 oak trees and 900 tree farms. They'll be sold. All of them will be in a pack of 4. For pricing, we are doing a bit of an early bird special. We'll throw in 4 trees for the price of 3 for the first 2 days, which is going to put the bundle at $270 for 48 hours. And then that's going to increase to $360 after the first 2 days. So try to get them when they're cheap. It's want to reward the early bird purchasers. And this one's going to be a cool one. Mal, do you want to touch a little bit about on the utility and what makes these legendary?
Yeah, so, I mean, I like these ones just because, 5 water can be a lot. So, I'd been telling people that the legendary oak and the legendary tree farms were much less water. They are 1 water to grow. So you need just 1 water. That means a marsh will grow your trees for you, which I think is incredible. On top of that, they also grow quicker. It's 10 seconds on the tree farm and then 40 seconds on the oak tree farm. So these are space savers when you're talking water, as well as they're growing much quicker. So, we're talking wine, them oaks will be lovely for that. You get way more grapes in. or however you want to do that one. But especially with the tree farms as well, you need wood and a lot. I know I've just took wood off a few things there, but it's coming back on. It's coming back, so I just want to make that clear as well. But wood's used in a lot, as we definitely know. So we're having wood that grows quicker. It's saving space for other things. It's saving time. If anyone's got any questions, you know where to find me.
Ash is asking, Monday sale, question mark?
Yeah, it's going to be Monday, the same timing as usual, other than our last week. We try to keep it 1 p.m. Pacific time every Monday. And that's the plan.
Awesome. I'm seeing some nice gifts out there. Willow, Hefe Sailor. What about shade and pollution, Mal? Red Fox asked that question.
Yeah, so it's still the same there. It'll still feel shade and pollution. It's the timer and water utility.
Cool. That's cool. Hey, there's one question that was asked a little earlier in the chat that I saved out. I thought was interesting. Let me pull up. This was where is that question? Oh, there it is. It was from Manatee. You asked a question. I hear comparisons to Farmville. What do you think led to its success and then reduced popularity over time? And are there similarities and lessons that can be applied to Townstar? Yeah, I'll jump in on that. Farmville is kind of near and dear to my heart. I actually led that development of that project. It did do very well. At its peak, 32 million people were playing it every single day. 32 million different people. What led to its success? Facebook, social. The time of the timing of the recession at the time. It was a free game you could play and have a lot of fun. How is it informing? Oh, and just like any kind of game, over time it fades. That game, I think it lasted 10 years. But what are similarities and lessons that we can learn? Well, when you make a game, in your past, you pull sort of meta lessons and thoughts out of it. Pacing, timing, what players like, art styles, and so those just all get mixed into sort of your developer toolkit. With Townstar, some of the lessons applied are like, how do we make it apply to a very broad audience? How do we make sure we keep the essence that makes Townstar fun and creative and compelling, but then add on more things? Lessons, you can see that with the persistent town. And then, of course, well, if you have a persistent town, how is that going to play? Well, that's where some more of the lessons come in there. So that's just, I thought I would save that one off because you asked it about 15 minutes ago. So that's our agenda for today. Any last minute questions you guys in the community want to share or ask we can answer? Mal, Imp says, when will the new meta changes begin?
So where's Rheasaurus gone? She would have been the perfect one to answer that. I know we'd probably like to push Monday, so if we can, then I always, it's always the best that we try and push the day before, so I'll always be pushing for that. I'd like to get it out sooner, but as I say, we've had one of the devs in a whole hurricane going on and stuff like that, so it's we've been productive, but it's I don't know if we can just push before the weekend. Though I'd like to if we could, but I don't think I could promise that one.
Let's just say we're targeting 1 p.m. on Monday, but, hoping for the best.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Other questions? One odd gent. Can AMAs last longer? Well, they could, but we also have to get back to work and keep making the game. Other questions before we head out? Any status on the Townstar API? That sounds like a question for Volcron.
Well, I don't want to leak anything, so maybe
I'm sorry.
maybe I could say if people were watching our open job positions over the past few months and they had archives of that, there might be it's out there on the internet somewhere publicly. So that's all I'll say.
Okay. So I think we can answer that. And you correct me if I'm wrong. are mental, or I don't know what you want to call it, supportive of that idea. We're just not ready to talk about things. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Okay. Town coin only for Monday sale. Call Rhino said town coin only for Monday sale. Top boy. Is that correct?
Sorry, what was the question?
Is it town coin only for Monday sale?
That's right. Town coin only.
Okay. All right.
Top boy, do you have any idea on the gifted baker?
Yeah. I don't want to promise a day, but we're targeting next week. The earlier, the better. Yeah, let's say we're targeting early to mid next week.
Yeah, because they want that one for the competition, you see, on Tuesday. So it'd be really nice to get that
I
one
will
out.
do everything in my power to push through that and try to get it before the competition.
More tags to
Awesome.
top boy might speed that up. Any joke?
Tip top boy. Cool. All right, so we're a bit over our normal time, but let's why don't we go ahead and wrap it up today? Anybody on our stage have sort of last minute shares that they want to do with our community right now? Farmer Michelle, any comments?
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay. Yeah, one of the things you guys got to know is, of course, we're all separated. We all work remote, and so when I toss out questions not on the agenda, it sometimes it catches people off guard. And that's a question that was not on our agenda. So,
Sometimes
okay, cool.
it leads to speed waffles.
That's true. That's true. Interesting. Can't wait to talk more about speed waffles. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up today. Thanks everybody for coming today to our September 30th, 2022 Townstar Ask Me Anything. Of course, if you have questions, drop them in Discord discussion. Mal and Farmer Michelle are there to always help and answer questions whenever possible. I jump on there sometimes. Other team members jump on there. And I just want to say thank you for coming. We really appreciate everybody's participation in the community, all the questions, and also it's just as important, the belief in the team. We're doing our best to share real information with you, share the progress, kind of bring you along with this development cycle that we're going through, not only with Townstar Live, but with Townstar Forever. So your support really means a lot to us, guys. So thank you for that. And with that, I think we'll call it a wrap. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
I'm going to hang here. Watch as everybody leaves off the stage and out of the community. Thanks again, everybody, for coming. Wiggler, Tubbs, Grumpy. I see all you guys out there. All the wonderful, cool, and creative icons. AJ Farms, Sabu, Dude Viper, Will Bake, LoJack, thanks. It's good to see you here. Rost Kip, of course, thank you for coming and contributing. Coco, hey Sparkle, Crazy Town. It's okay to leave. We're not going to share any more things. I just like looking at everybody in the community and seeing everybody who's here. Atomic, I see you. Well, we'll have to get a social update next week. Cotton Cheese, they're awesome. Good to see you guys. Thanks everybody for coming. The captain, Hefe Sailor, the man who has all the answers. He was answering a lot of questions, 100% spot on last night, or last night or the night before. In any case, he was there. I almost didn't have to talk in the discussion. He knew all the answers. Fortnite, thanks for coming. Grok this. Nice icon there. Kiramisha, thank you. Rich Game, hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Of course, we're going to publish up the audio of this later. Farmer Michelle does that with help from other people inside the company. We'll see you next week, everybody. Again, thanks for joining us. Ra, thanks for joining us. Time Machine, of course, but it shortens it on my screen here. I wonder how long everybody would stay if I just kept rambling. I bet somebody like One Odd Agent would just stay the whole time.
People would stay forever. There's still some people in here a couple of days from now when I check.
Really? That's funny. Pete Fish, welcome. Mikey, Jokonot. I think I'm seeing some new people in here. Maybe you guys have always showed up, but just haven't seen in the giant list of people. Kitty Queen, thanks for joining us today. Off Grid Rancher, nice. Boldrid, Citizen X, thank you. Lou Wolf, yeah, I see you there. Thanks, man. Let's see. Remember, if you guys have questions, just jump into the regular Discord discussion, ask them. And we're still at 74 people in here. All right. Unfortunately,